How do everyone? Novabug here, and I've got a video response to make and share with you, and it's regarding a question from this gentleman here, Mr. Lawnboyspost1975, and he got given a question in turn, answered it, and I thought, yeah, that's actually an interesting question. I've got some things to say about that. So, cutting straight to the chase, to the nub of the matter, is there enough room for new retro gaming channels, for gaming channels to make it, as he puts it? Now, it is a congested market. It really is quite flooded. It's quite saturated. There's a lot of people making gaming channels, modern and retro. And even when I started, going back 3 years now, it was busy then, and the big channels had already made it by that point. You had the AVGNs, you had the Game Chasers, and you had oh god, loads. Mind blank. I wish that wouldn't happen when you're making a video. Mind blank. But you know what I mean, the large channels, they were pretty much established back then. Screw Attack, things like that, you know. Classic Game Room, Mark, and all that kind of stuff, you know. And lots of different things have happened since then with these kind of big channels, but I digress. Nowadays, what can you really do to make it, as it were? Now, first of all, you have to ask yourself, what are you going to define as make it? I mean, make it could be a completely different thing to you, what it could be to someone else. It's an entirely subjective and personal thing. If you want to do it as a hobby, and you want to make it, then making it for you could be 100 subs, and you're perfectly happy with that. You know, maybe 50 views per video. If you're comfortable and happy with that, then you've made it, haven't you? You've made it to yourself. Now, if you're defining made it as becoming a professional YouTuber, or the likes of, you know, massive ones like PewDiePie and stuff, then it's tricky. I would say it's tricky, and it's not for the lack of content and material that you can focus on. Like Dave correctly points out, there is massive amount of stuff about gaming and retro gaming, and it continues to grow, of course. The information just continues to grow. The industry rolls on. Every week, every day, every hour, there's new stories, new things coming out. You know, I mean, a couple of months ago, the news about the Nintendo Sony CD thing, the SNES CD, the PlayStation as it was then. I mean, everyone sort of like knew the story about obviously that, but then never thought actually have a working unit. Bang, there it is, the original prototype. It's a fantastic little news story, that. And then you got all the rumoured stories that you could talk about, like upcoming consoles, the development hell of games, publishing, what they get up to behind the scenes. So much information that you can dwell on. And it also goes back to all the way to the retro gaming scene. There's so many things that people have not covered yet, or covered in a different way. I think that's maybe what the trick is, to cover something, to cover a topic, a system, a game, a developer, in a way that hasn't been done before. And I know that I've been watching newer channels, or channels that are relatively new, recently, that look at something in a different way and present it in a different way, and it makes it enthralling to watch, and it makes it interesting to watch. And I think that's where part of what you've got to do if you want to make it, I suppose, as a big channel. It's kind of difficult to elevate yourself on your own. I think it's pretty difficult to do that, because you've got the power of social media. Yes, you have. You've got to give a draw. You've got to have that sort of business acumen. I know it's depressing to talk about that in this world of corporatism. We don't really like it, but unfortunately, it's the world we live in. And to be honest, there's no point. My stance in life is there's no point in bitching and moaning about things that basically you've got to live with. So you've got to work with it. You've got to work with what the situation is. You've got to work with this area of marketing kind of corporatism kind of thing. It's part and parcel of media creation, and if you want to be successful, then you've got to embrace that. So it's twofold. It's that it helps with marketing, it helps with getting the word out, and I think this is the thing I've always strove to do on my channel, is to try and expose other channels. I've always done. I mean, I'm only a small channel still, and I probably always will be, but I always like to promote and push other channels whenever I get the chance, to say, you know, I enjoy this guy's work, I enjoy this girl's work, check him out, check her out, because they have a different way of presenting. They have a personality. A key thing is personality in this. If you don't have a personality, if you're literally going to do, you're going to sit here and just go, Pick that up. Pick that up. Pick that up. Dragon Age Inquisition, you know. Lord of the Fallen, pick that up. You know, don't, you know, that. That's just dull. And so many people think that they can get in front of a camera and do that. Kudos for you for getting in front of a camera. But that doesn't do anything. If you're not going to express an opinion, if you're not going to be... if you're not going to put yourself out to the viewer, if you're not going to make yourself watchable, you've got to make yourself entertaining and watchable and thoughtful. And people have got to be triggered that and say, oh, that's a good point, or I disagree with that point, and or at that point, you know what I mean? You know where I'm going with that? It's important. I think that should be done. So, first of all, I mean, you can split this question up into several stages. First of all, defining what "make it" means. So, if you're comfortable with making it, say I hit 1,000 subs recently, and I am quite content with hitting 1,000 subs, then you've made it, haven't you? I made it. Personally, I think I made it on the day that I hit 100 subs and made loads of new friends and realised that I've just entered into and been embraced by this circle of people with like minds and different opinions, which is always good. Always have different freedom of speech thing, and different opinions is fantastic because you can swell ideas around and come to different conclusions and reach higher goals doing that. I mean, if you put yourself in an echo chamber where everyone's just going to nod along and agree with you all the time, what the fuck's the point in that? I mean, that mirrors in society as well, of course, away from gaming channels. So that just pisses me off when that happens, because no one's going to grow and progress their ideas and thoughts and evolve, I suppose, without having someone question them. And that's part of, I suppose, opinions. But getting back to, I'm bloody digressing on ways everywhere here, aren't I? Making it. So whatever you want to define as make it is, that's the first thing. Now, if you think making it is becoming a professional YouTuber, having it as your full-time job, tough. It's tough to do, but it's doable, even with the current saturated climate. If you have an opinion, you can express that opinion, and you have ideas that you can portray in whatever manner you want, whether you want to do it low-tech or high-tech. Obviously, I mean, let's cut the bollocks here. Obviously, if you're going to put lots of flashy animations and a high production value to your stuff, obviously it's going to appeal to a greater audience. Now, whether you like that or not, it's a fact, it's true. Now, a lot of people are low-tech, and they just get in front of a camera with nothing around really, and just blah, 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 blah. And that is where their personality is the highlight of what they're doing. That is embracing you, the viewer. That's what's capturing your imagination and capturing why you're interested in them. You combine that with good production values, you combine that with effort, you combine that with accurate research, you create a good show. You create different types of shows. Yes, there's no reason why you can't make it, even in this saturated market. The bloody sun's just gone down, so I've just gone all dark there. Can't control the sun, you know. Lighting boxes, this is high production values, this is what I'm talking about. So, you can think about it like that. I wouldn't be put off if you decide to make a new channel and you decide, oh, I'll give that a go. I wouldn't be put off, because if you've got something to say and you can say it that no one else has said, and you've got an idea, think, well, why hasn't that ever been covered? You can always check this. You can Google, you can Yahoo, you can go on YouTube and check whether has someone covered this game before, has someone talked about that topic before. If they haven't, get in there, because you're going to be the first one to do it. You know, when you have an idea, don't let it sort of don't let it sink. Don't let it, oh, well, maybe I can't do that. Oh, maybe that's going to, you know. Do it. Just do it. And you never know what the reaction is going to be. If you have an idea and you think that's a good idea, just bloody do it. You could be on a complete winner. You don't know. I mean, and the other thing is to remember is don't get too despondent. Don't get too disappointed in yourself if something isn't as successful as you hope it would be. Because sometimes things just work out like that. That's life. And you could hit on a golden idea. 1 out of 100 videos could be, that's it. Take you off. It could happen like that. You don't know. I mean, when my transition, personal experience, my transition from 500 to 1,000 was very, very quick. Excuse me. And I always attribute this to help from a lot of other people, of course. Helped me along and promoting me and shouting my channel out. But I haven't had a great deal of that. Not a massive deal of that. And certainly no massive, huge channels When I say huge channels, I mean we're talking any channel in over 100,000 subs mark has ever actually shouted me out directly on camera. And so, you know, if that happens, you've got a great big stepping stone there, a huge stepping stone, if that can't happen. So I always say it's good to make relationships and with good people and communicate well, get to know bigger tubers and how they work, how they film, where they get their ideas from. I mean, I'm not talking about plagiarism here, I'm not talking about stealing their ideas. You come up with your own ideas and you present it in your own style, but you take everyone takes inspirations from other people, and that's the way they do things. Keep true to yourself and just be original. Try and be as original to you as possible, and there's no reason why you can't make it. I mean, it takes a lot of factors to come together to become a massive channel. But like I said, going back to the very first point I made, whatever you define as made it, that is it. That is your target. If you decide, well, I would be happy with 5,000 subs, which personally I would be thrilled with, right? Then I would consider I've even made it even more, because I already considered that I've made it. I've been accepted. That people watch me, they view me, they enjoy what I say, or not always what I say, but enjoy the way I do it. And I'm happy with that. And that makes me happy. And whatever makes you happy, then you can make it. That's the way I translate that question anyway. I mean, if you think it's all about money, finance, success and fame, that's your prerogative. If you want to go down that road, that's fine. I haven't got a problem with that either. I don't think anyone else should either have a problem with that. It's entirely the way you want to do it. I'm not a fan of things like clickbait. I'm not a fan of cheap things where you're just going to sit there doing nothing, streaming Call of Duty, because for some reason loads of people watch that still, and constant streams of current games which for some reason everybody watches. All the young, probably most of the young gamers do. I'm not quite a fan of that, but I suppose if you want to do that, then do that. I suppose I don't care really. I'm personally not going to watch it. I prefer to listen to opinions and thoughts and ideas and information and news about things and educate myself and get into debates, get into, not arguments, I was going to say arguments, discussion, and something that triggers my fascination with a certain game. Oh, I didn't know that. So when I was doing, talking to people about the Commodore, there's things I found out about that. It's like, I didn't know that, and it's fascinating to know that. I'm really interested. So I've gone off on loads of fucking tangents here, but I can wrap it up and suppose to say, you can make it if you try. If you try hard, you stay true to yourself, and you convey a personality, and you convey opinions, and don't just go down this mainstream narrative of boredom and think that's going to work, because it ain't going to work. It takes a combination of things to make it, I suppose. And if you can hit that combination of things, then you will. And if you don't make it, then don't worry about it. Just keep on going and have fun with it. I think that's the thing you need to remember. It's just, if you want to be a YouTuber and you don't want to be a professional full-timer, just have a bit of fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. Do what you want, really, within reason. Do what you want as far as gaming concerns. Anyway, I've rabbited on long enough now. This is probably one of the longest video responses I've ever done. So thank you very much, Lawnboy, for that question. Hope I made coherent sense. We'll find out when you watch it and when people put comments in if I made any sense at all. But we'll see. Thank you very much. Nova Bug, out.